poppin', B? Purpock here, and welcome back to another episode of Race the Ramen, the show where I attempt to review something unscripted in the amount of time it takes to boil an instant ramen. And today we'll be taking a look at Guillermo Del Toro's Pinocchio, available now on Netflix. Alright, we're going to start the timer right now. Okay, so, Guillermo Del Toro's Pinocchio. It's kind of a mouthful, I know, but I guess it's kind of important to specify, considering there's been quite a few different adaptations of the Pinocchio story, especially this year. Counting this one, there have been 3 high-profile, in different respects, Pinocchio animated movies this year. There was, of course, Pinocchio, A True Story, which I reviewed earlier this year, starring Pauly Shore, which I thought was really bad, despite the very funny memes. And there was the Disney live-action remake of the old animated Disney one by Robert Zemeckis. And everyone says that was horrible too. I didn't watch it because I value my time. But I have been very excited for this adaptation of the story. I'm a fan of Guillermo Del Toro's work. Pan's Labyrinth is back there on my shelf there. Big fan of that. I love The Shape of Water. I haven't seen his whole filmography, but I love his filmmaking, and he has wanted to get this Pinocchio movie made for the better part of 15 years. It's been in development hell for a long time, but he finally got it off the ground with Netflix's help, which feels like a deal with the devil these days, but whatever, we'll take it. And helping him on the screenplay for this was Pat McHale, who wrote and created Over the Garden Wall. Fantastic little Cartoon Network miniseries I'm sure a lot of you already know about. I love that too. So I kind of feel like this thing was destined to be loved by me specifically. It's like all of my specific interests. Like an established and successful filmmaker like Del Toro going into animation because it's what he really wants to do. He loves cartoons. He loves Adventure Time, for one thing. He did the foreword for that series, encyclopedia, art of. He's a big fan of cartoons, and he was really, really pushy about getting this made as a stop-motion film because he felt that Pinocchio, as a puppet boy, would not feel right unless everyone else in the world was a puppet, which kind of continues on into the themes, going on with Guillermo's obsession with anti-fascism and anti-war and military themes in pretty much all of his movies. This version of the story is set during the rise of Mussolini in Italy. So there's talk of fascism and following the rules and obeying what you're told to do. And obviously that ties into Pinocchio's journey of becoming a real boy and all that. But it's not really that old story you all know or might expect to see. It has a lot of the hallmarks you'd expect. The growing nose, and of course Geppetto, the wooden boy, and there's Pinocchio, and the cricket, and the big fish, and all that. But it feels like a much more thought out and just detailed version of the story in every way from pretty much most other versions I've seen. The animation is obviously amazing. It's some of the best, most gorgeous, beautiful looking stop motion animation I've ever seen. Absolutely bursting with life and detail everywhere. Characters have dirt under their fingernails, and there's tons of beautiful little imperfections and bits of just great things to see everywhere. Everyone's incredibly expressive. The puppetry is fantastic. The paintings and backgrounds are all really good. The score is fantastic. Alexander Desplat did that. And apparently he used only wooden instruments to give it sort of an ethereal sound, because a lot like other Guillermo movies, this is very much a fairy tale. I mean, Pinocchio is an old fairy tale, but it's a fairy tale in the way that Guillermo likes to tell them, with a dark twist to them, and a palpable, huge, unknown, almost fearful vision of spirits beyond, and yet it still feels so sweet and genuine. It's a dark and pretty serious, mature family animated movie which younger kids will probably be not really suited for. But it's just such an amazing thing to exist. So well plotted out and so well put together. All of the performances are really good. I love the voice acting. Songs are a little messy. There are songs, but I like all that. It's a lot to take in, but at the end of all of it, they make something really fantastic. Hopefully that gives you a decent idea of what I think of the movie. I had to give this one some thought, honestly, because I think this is one of my favorite movies I've seen all year. Probably one of the best movies I've seen all year. Although I do have my problems with it. Little bits of the plot that are just kind of built into the story of Pinocchio that don't fit as well with some of the new stuff. And I don't know. I can see other people not loving this quite as much as me, and some people even seem to dislike this version of the story. But like, not even just compared to the two terrible Pinocchio movies that came out this year, but just compared to like most other Pinocchio stories, this feels rich and alive and well realized, and it's fun and exciting, and I thought it was an absolute pleasure to watch, and I recommend it to basically everybody. I give Guillermo Del Toro's Pinocchio a 10 out of 10. It's available on Netflix. I really wish I was one of the people that got to see this in a theater. I didn't. It was playing like 20 miles away from me. I had a friend who got to see it. You know who you are. But yeah, I absolutely recommend you check it out. And let me know what you think of it. This might be my last race the ramen for the year, by the way. I've got other things I'm working on. And I feel like I've just had a little bit too much Pinocchio for the time being. I still keep having flashbacks to Polly Shore.
Mamma mia! It wouldn't buy!